Hey guys, Chris here, the RC Geek. So this is episode 2 of my series, How to Build an RC Jet. We're building a Mark Frankel F4D Skyray, and last episode we went through the discussion of building speed brakes for the airplane. There's 4 of them, and so we went through the basic construction. This episode we're applying rivets to the inside of the speed brake to finish off the internal details, and so I wanted to do an individual video for that since it's extensible to not just the speed brakes but aircraft as a whole. Any airplane that has raised rivets, you can use this technique, and it's really effective. Here we have our finished speed brake. We've come in, filled in the weave of this cloth. It took a couple passes on the glazing putty to get that nice and clean, but now we've got a nice smooth surface on the inside here, and we're gonna put some rivets here. So we have a nice finished speed brake with rivet detail on the inside. So we talk about the rivets. We're gonna use a laser cut vinyl rivet that comes from Chad Veach Models. He laser cuts these to the specifications that you need for your application, and so you end up with something that's really custom, works exactly for what you need. In our case, we have 2 different spacings that we're using. When I looked at pictures of the full-size airplane, there were 2 different spacings that were inside the well of the speed brake, so I had those 2 different spacings cut. The nice thing also is, this is something really easy to do, really simple, and it gives a nice simulated raised rivet. Only works for that application, not so much for flush rivets, because each one of these is going to have, some definition to it, a raised definition, and so flush rivets will do something else, but that'll come later down the road. Now, the way that these rivets work, we have the vinyl, we got to get it off the vinyl sheet. So first of all, we need to figure out how many rivets and at each location we're going to need. So in our case, we've got 3 already done. The spacings and the locations were all done by looking at pictures of the full-size airplane. So the way that we're going to do this, we're going to start out up here. We're going to place these rivets first. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rivets, and they're the close spacing, which is this here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cut this here, peel that off, and then we're going to take some Scotch tape. Couldn't find Scotch tape, so I'm using packing tape, but it does the same thing. We want it clear so we can set these rivets. So now we're going to burnish these down, and then we're going to lift this up, making sure that the rivets stay on the tape and not on the backing. So now we have some rivets. We'll place them there, push them down, and there we go. So we'll keep doing that until we've placed all of the rivets onto the speed brake. As we place these, let's say we accidentally rub one off or something like that, we can come in here, we can take an individual rivet off the sheet and place it as necessary. Also, let's say we have one too many or something like that, we can just come on, peel them off, and we're good to go. So that's one of the nice things about these. They're pre-burnished with Scotch-Brite pads, so you can primer directly over them, and you won't have any issues with the paint sticking or anything like that, and so they're essentially paint ready. So now we're going to add the rivets across here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, this is determined by checking our reference materials, and so these are all of the wider spacing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get our tape. Then we have our 5. There we go. So we'll keep going on with this until we have all of the rivets down, and we'll check back. So here we go, we've got our completed speed brake. It's all fully detailed. You'll notice inside here we've got this raised panel that's in there. That was done by using aluminum tape, cutting it to size, and then placing an individual rivet around each corner. And so we now have 4 speed brakes ready to install in the airplane. We'll take a look at that next time. In our next episode, we will be installing speed brakes, and then we'll be installing bulkheads. You can read more about this article on the speed brakes, as well as many other build articles on my blog, thercgeek.com. I have more videos coming, so be sure to subscribe to get those. I also have a number of feature RC videos on different airplanes, some really cool stuff, so you can check those out also. Otherwise, if you want to see episode 1 of this tutorial, this was episode 2, you can see episode 1 by clicking here. And that'll take you to episode 1. You can see how we built up these speed brakes. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.